ndagira ngo bazi ikibazo kirebana n'ibikorwa remezo iby'amazi n'iby'amashanyarazi. Urebye intambwe yatewe kuva u Rwanda rwavuka bundi bushya ni nini cyane, nko ku mashanyarazi arabona njye ntero urwenyine uruganda rw'ibyuma rw'i Musanze rukoresha megawati zingana n'iz'u Rwanda rwari rufite muri 1994 megawati 40. Ariko nubwo amashanyarazi ahari anyuzamo akabura hakaba blackout. Ni iki kizakorwa kugira ngo amashanyarazi aboneke ubudacika, bityo abashoramari bayakeneye, abaturage bakeneye babe bizeye 100% ko iki atari ikibazo? Ni kimwe nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika n'amazi, bikorwa by'amazi byarubatswe ariko ubona umuvuduko ukwiyongera kw'abaturage, ukwiyongera kw'amasite mashya yo gutura bigenda imbere y'ingano y'amazi. Muri iyi mpeshyi ho byabaye ibindi nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika, ni iki kibura kugira ngo amazi ajya ari menshi no mu mpeshyi tuyabone? Ikinababaza nuko mu gihe cy'imvura senya akica akongera imikoki, ibibanza bihenze by'ikigaruka ugasanga habaye ikintu cy'igikoki kinini, abakire amazu bubaka ntibashyireho uburyo bufata amazi. Nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika, mwagira icyo mubivugaho mukatwizeza wenda ko hari igihe kizagera bikakemuka burundu? Murakoze.
Ngira ngo mu byo utangiye uvuga usa naho usobanuye icyo kibazo. Bavuze aho twahereye ko hari hameze, hagomba kuba hatandukanye n'ubu ngubu ko hameze. Ni ukuvuga ngo ni investments zigomba gukorwa, ariko nk'uko nigeze kubivuga nsubiza ikindi kibazo, ibyo twifuza gukora byo urabizi ni byinshi, ariko amikoro ahari ntabwo angana nabyo. Duhora dushaka uko amikoro yiyongera kugira ngo twongere mu bikorwa, ari iby'amazi ari iby'amashanyarazi. Biriya bindi bavugaga bimwe si amikoro yandi akenewe y'igitangaza, usibye gukoresha noneho ibyo dufite. Management y'ibintu, hari n'amazi nyine y'imvura agira cyakahitana ibintu rimwe na rimwe. Hari ubwo hari ibishobora gukorwa n'abantu ku giti cyabo cyangwa na leta bafatanyije, cyane cyane biri mu bushobozi bwacu kugira ngo bibe ariko rimwe na rimwe ntibikorwe nk'uko bikwiriye. Ibyo ni ibintu bihoraho. Ni ukureba rero uko leta yongera ingufu, yongera ubushobozi, ariko yongera no gukurikirana kureba ko ntabwo twahora dufite impamvu ituma tudakora n'ibyo dufitiye ubushobozi, kandi ni byinshi ibyo dufitiye ubushobozi ariko bidakorwa. Urumva ko bigomba kuba bituruka mu bantu, mu nzego, ariko icyo gihe rero hagomba gukurikiranwa nibura kugira ngo ibishoboka ibyo dufitiye ubushobozi bikorwe, ibyo tudafitiye ubushobozi gushakwa nabwo bishoboye kwihuta n'icyo cyifuzo. Rero urebye nta ibyo wavuze ni ibibazo byo bihoraho imyaka yose, ariko tugomba guhora dushakira abantu bakora ibintu uko bikwiye, babikorera igihe, bakoresha amikoro ahari, adahari hari n'uburyo nanone bwo gukomeza gushaka ayo mikoro. Ibyo rero niho abanyarwanda bapimira kumenya uko abayobozi babo babakorera cyangwa leta yabo bakorera. Igihe kigeze turishyura turabyishyura, nabyo byakongerwagamo imbaraga, abaturage bakabitubaza koko, ndetse bamwe bakadusezerera bakavuga ko tutakoze ibihagije kandi byari bishobotse. Buriya bagira igihe cyabo bakwiye kuba bifatiramo bakaduhana.
Thank you, Excellency. We'll take the next question from Jackie.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. My name is Jackie Lumbasi from RBA. Seeing as we have a good representation of the continent in the room, Your Excellency, you have always argued that the African continent is not short of resources or capable people. Sometimes our problem is how we view ourselves, how we think of ourselves. And you even mentioned earlier, some of those problems are self-inflicted. Your Excellency, Rwanda is set to host the Africa Mindset Reset Forum. As we host this forum, I'm wondering, in your opinion, not to speak for any other person, in your opinion, what is that mindset that you want to see Africa change? And when we change it, what do we replace that with? Thank you, Your Excellency.
You want to preempt my discussion? Why don't you wait just another few hours, and tomorrow we'll be together. I'll tell you what I think, so that I avoid repeating myself, right? Actually, part of it I have already said when I was answering some questions earlier. But the mindset, as we know it, is, you know, people talk about planning, they talk about policy, they talk about vision. All those are very, very important. But the mindset seems to be that glue that connects all of them. The mindset makes these components work well together. So let me leave it at that. The rest you'll hear from me tomorrow. But mindset is important, and Africa has to do something about it. It has to think of how our mindset changes, and we leverage all the opportunities we have and capacities. They are there. But the mindset lacking creates a lot of problems for us. Yeah, you can have somebody, imagine, you can have even a country, let's say like ours. The leadership, the behavior of that leadership, matters a lot in how do we deliver on certain aspirations or promise. Remember, long ago, just a quick example here, well, like in many other places, but let me talk about here. Many years ago, we really had the people, including those like in your category, those who are here, who would not do much that they could have done, just because they think it is somebody else's responsibility, or worse still, they think somebody will come from somewhere outside of our borders to come and help, or to come and remind you what you have to do. And then you could find leaders really so deficient in this area, where they would just, and adoring others for what she or he could have done himself. That's a terrible thing about mindset. Even when all the means are there, you still want somebody to remind you what you should be doing, or to instruct you, or you even feel you are accountable to the other one. I mean, about your own business, which really amounts to a shame in a way. So let me stop it here.
Thank you, sir.
Go ahead.
We'll take the next question at the front, Israel.
All right, thank you very much, Your Excellency. My name is Israel Laye, and I am a broadcaster. I've been working as a broadcaster for 27 years, but I'm here at the behest of InfluencerAfrica.com because we brought the content creators to Rwanda at the behest of ASG. And I want to say thank you for making it possible for us to be in this room. My question has to do with ASG as a co-founder of the Africa School of Governance. I want to understand what success will look like for you, as in for the establishment of ASG, what success will look like for you, let's say 5 or 10 years from now.
Yeah, success is defined by the very things we talk about almost on a daily basis. So success for me is in some layers. The first layer is here. I'm talking about Rwanda. That's my main task. The other success is derived from knowing that Rwanda is not an island. It's part of the region, it's part of the continent. Rwanda's success without the success of others doesn't make much sense to me. I want to succeed where others are succeeding too. And, but therefore it means addressing those problems, some of which you have just mentioned here. Let's say we talked about trade. We talked about the continental free trade area, which should allow people to freely move across borders and goods and so on and so forth. So success for me is to see it working. On one part, it is working. For one layer, that is mine, the Rwandan layer, because we tried our best to say, okay, people, you should trade with us. We are making free, this movement free across our border, and we are allowing goods to come in. And so you should allow others to come to you as well, and each other. That's the way we should treat everybody. So success is about this, it's about transformation. We talk about improving the livelihoods of our people. But every day, whether you're crossing here or wherever, you see things that tell you there is still demand for that to happen, and probably faster. So that is, and the whole idea of ASG is, that African part. It's just to say, please, can we come together? Can we study together? Can we act together? Can we deliver together? Can we benefit together? So the whole idea of having such an institution is really to remind ourselves of our honorable but heavy task of making progress. Success is about making progress in things you have identified that matter to that success, and there must be a way even of measuring that. So, in a nutshell, for me, that is how and if the institution can be part of that, you know, or act as a catalyst, at least to deliver, as many other institutions elsewhere might do the same, then I'll be happy that we'll have made our own contribution.
Thank you, sir. We'll take the next question. Vincent?
Murakoze, Excellency. Vincent Gasana, Katie Press. Maybe I should start by begging Your Excellency's pardon because I seem to ask more or less the same question whenever I get the opportunity. But it is a recurring theme, and we're back on the DRC crisis. So it is beginning to look incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to avoid the conclusion that the influential, powerful nations of the West are intent on directing attention away from the underlying causes of the crisis in the DRC. It's gone as far as a rather astonishing comment within the latest group of experts report that Rwanda, quote unquote, sponsors armed groups. They never say which ones they are. They are brazenly pretty much projecting what the DRC does onto Rwanda. Now, in order to avoid looking at the underlying causes, Rwanda is being scapegoated. So really, when you have these powerful nations thinking of nothing of going into the UN Security Council and looking away from the actual causes of a crisis, I'm wondering, Your Excellency, what is it that is left for Rwanda to do beyond repeating the facts about on the grounds, repeating the truth? What else can Rwanda do to ensure that we come back to actually looking at what the causes, what the crisis is about? And immediately, if I may, sir, very quickly, we hear a great deal about African solutions to African problems. Now, the DRC crisis is one of the gravest on the continent. But Africa, the organizations, the institutions that should be looking at this, seems to be absent in action. So again, is there something that can be done to bring the solutions back to where they belong, and rather than outsourcing them to people who seem to have deaf ears to what really the solutions to the crisis are? Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Well, I think it's all well put, and just to say, what does Rwanda do about all this? First, survive and thrive. We have to make sure under whatever circumstances we stay intact. We still can survive all this and live by our right to live. Our right to live cannot be taken away by anybody, including the powerful West. Cannot take it away and from us. And so we have to make sure we stay together. We stay, as I said earlier, doing what is right that we can do to But you've put it so well. I mean, you can't help but wonder why this problem that has been there for these 3 decades, these problems don't go away, despite so much in terms of interest and from all over the place. And yeah, but we shall remain the course and keep contributing to what can find a solution, help us find a solution. And I mean, some of the things you've said, and I'm glad you are the one who said it, not me. Because when it is me, then it is another problem. But I build on what you just said so accurately. And let's say if you look at the composition alone of the so-called group of experts, the composition has a connection with the history, has a connection with the history of this problem for probably centuries. So these are the people who, and the people who are supposed to be understanding the root causes of things we have to deal with. And they frame it like the root causes are just recent. Something that has a root cause in a century that has passed is portrayed as if the root cause was just 5 years ago. And there are people, even when you are reasoning with them, by the way, and saying, no, this is a fact, you can cross-check, this is a fact, and then they will say, no, but the group of experts are saying this. They refer to their people who have already written, framed a narrative that people must believe, not to address the problem, but to address it the way they want. You see? So, and if we go back and forth, we keep explaining, what you see, look at this is the one, this is that, this is one thing later, and you demonstrate it, and even give evidence. Like I told you, there are people in Mutobo who testify to journalists, to government officials who come from abroad, and they tell you the story. It's not one, it's not two, it's like hundreds of testimonies. But they will still come back to what they want. Everything will be rubbish, to put aside, and they'll bring you back to what they want you to follow. So it's difficult for me to say, what can I do? To say, do I change the understanding of the problems that affect me, or the underlying facts relating to that, and agree with them so that I survive them? So is that an option? For us, we are left with the very narrow choices to pick from what we do. The choice is just to say, well, this is a fact. The cause is this. We are the ones concerned. We can tell you what we feel. So we say, this is where we are, and just go and do whatever you want. And that's how people go and do whatever they want, because even as I said earlier, it doesn't have to be addressing the problem. No, it's just sometimes it is either arrogance or wrong exercise of power that people have, and so they'll go back and sanction because you didn't agree with their falsehood. So meaning they are arm twisting you to bring you to agree the wrong thing that they're. So what do we do? So we just stay the course and keep explaining, keep doing our best, and you know, you can see here you have, let's say, two parties to the problem. Let me say that. One is actually less responsible for the problem being there. The other one is directly responsible. So the powerful will come and say, you know what, we want this responsible person, even if he's wrong, but we want him to be the one seen as the right one. And you argue, you present your case, but they say, okay, if you don't see it that way, we will sanction you. So they will sanction the one who is less responsible, so that the one who is more responsible benefits the way they want, or benefits them the way they want. There is nothing you can do about that, except if these people decided to change their mind or the way they look at the problem. So for you, what you do is you just hold yourself together and try to survive everything being thrown at you. That's it. Otherwise, it cannot solve the problem. That you threaten me, you even try to do harm to me, or you try to do this, and so that somebody is broken and delivers whatever they want, even if it is wrong. So we just make sure we are not broken. That's it. It's our duty to make sure we don't get broken. And do the best thing. So what else can we do? What was the second part of your question was?
Yes, the African organizations outsourcing.
Unfortunately, the players who are powerful, they are, and that's the life, and there has to be a way of continuing to find a way to live people's lives. We have to. Rwandans, we have gone through so much of this kind. I'm not saying that we are used and therefore let that continue. No, I'm only saying our history and the problems thereof have just shaped a situation where we have to try and cope every day. But we always have to do our best, and we will. And yeah, it's one day it is here, another day it is somewhere else, and so we keep going.
Thank you, sir. Diana?
Thank you, Your Excellency. My name is Diana Iriza, and I am the correspondent for TRT World based in Istanbul, Turkey. Your Excellency, Kigali city is developing rapidly, it's growing, but for many ordinary Rwandans, especially the young Rwandans, are being kept stuck by the real estate business. For many of Rwandans here, finding it difficult to own a decent home. Do you have any concerns regarding this? Do you think we are building a city that could be unaffordable to most Rwandans, and what do you think should be done for this to change?
What should be done is what we are doing. Of course, if you, as you are saying, it's growing, isn't it? The city is growing, the population is growing, the demands are growing of everybody. We are trying to cope. I can't tell anybody lies that, yeah, I have a solution. That next year when you come back, you'll find I have solved this problem, the one you have asked. No, I will be telling lies. But you will certainly find progress. You will find growth. You will find the way we address these problems. If you look at the continued growth of our economy, and we are trying to find a way that makes that growth contribute to the transformation and the well-being of people. I don't think there is any moment you will come back here, even after 3 years or 4 or 5. You come and you find there is no problem here. No. I'm sure even in the cities where you said you come from, where you are working, there are similar, yeah, but if you went to, you're employed by who? From? This one says, if you go to your employees, to your employers, and ask, you'll find they have a similar problems as I have. There's not a city in the world or around, or a country where you'll not find such a problems. But you'll always find some countries or cities making more progress than others. There's no doubt. So we are only trying to make sure that we make progress, as much progress as we can. And you are talking about real estate. It's not even that. There are many more things. Yes? Yes, yes, yes. They are very expensive for ordinary Rwandans. But at least you are aware in the last, like, the last 15 years, we have resolved that problem for the majority of Rwandans across the country, not just Kigali. Yes. Whichever part of the corner of this country you go to, you'll find improvement for ordinary people. It's not, so be it across the country, be it in the city. So the country is growing because it is actually addressing largely that problem you've mentioned. Yes. And the economy has been growing, and the country, the population getting better for it because of those efforts. again, as I said, if there is any moment you will come and find we have no problem, or you will go around and not see any problem, I'm not telling that to you. I'm not promising anything, because I know we are going to live with those problems. But doesn't this growth of the city and the country and also impress you to some extent? It does. Yeah, these same people who are struggling, by the way, today to find, let's say, a house, or to, if you meet them maybe a year later, you'll find maybe they have made good progress. They have actually addressed the problem. So it's not an easy thing, or easy question to answer, but the country is growing, and it is growing, not some people growing at the expense of others. I think you'll find that growth is really more or less evenly distributed across the country, better than you will find in any other country. I would even say that. Yeah. But there are problems. There are many problems to deal with. We just have to deal with them and keep going.
Thank you, sir. We'll take the next question from Kennedy.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mine is not really a question, but first I want to appreciate this opportunity. And Mr. President, my name is KRISTU. I'm a content creator from Kenya. My main work is usually to entertain people by reflecting to them what actually happens. And I've actually done a skit regarding how Rwandan citizens relate with you as a president. After doing a lot of research, when I was walking around the city, I asked a lot of people, and they told me that we see our president as our father. I thought that was a joke until today I witnessed you solving as a case here and asking, what did he say? What did he say? So, Mr. President, your people really love you.
I'm as crazy as you are.
And lastly, Mr. President, you know, my father usually say that he believed that content can take people places. For me, I just request a selfie to go and show him that I met the president of Rwanda.
Yes.
And
I give you two. Do I have to stand, or you'll do it just... yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Your Excellency. We'll now take a question from
Good day, Your Excellency. My name is Banele Reo. I am a content creator, but more importantly, I am an entrepreneur from South Africa. I'm here today because of an invitation by ASG, and this is my second time being here in 7 months. And the reason why I'm here is because of initiatives that you are directly involved in, like the ASG, we are co-founder. Now, my question is, there seems to be a really strong drive with your leadership in terms of entrepreneurship. So now, I'd like to know, going forward, for the youth, right, into the future, even beyond your tenure, what do you think is the priority, or what should the priority be for them? Between two things, for the youth, going forward, between serving in office, serving the people in office, and entrepreneurship? Or can there be a balance between the two? Because with your leadership over the years, you've shown that you serving people was the most important service that you had to do in the last 30 years. But I see a shift maybe going to entrepreneurship. Is that true?
Yeah. Actually, some people can have a better opportunity than I had of starting as entrepreneurs and ending as leaders who serve people. But beyond that, they could start with both. For me, there was no opportunity to start with both. I'd start as one, and so don't set any barriers in your mind. Just think about what you want to do, and for the young people, start with knowing and believing that you can do something. And starting from that, you can do many things. And so read correctly the opportunities before you, and within you the talents you have, and the desire you have, the energy you have. Don't waste any of those. Just use them. Let the limit to that come from somewhere else, not from you. Yes. So the young people should learn very fast. You know, learn at the earliest you can, the world around you and the opportunities available to you, and take it when it comes. So and just again, as we've talked about the mindset, you have developed a mindset where you don't complain about problems, but or look up to somebody else to be the one to deal with your problem. Start with yourself. And even if that was to happen, it happens when you have started the journey yourself to do things. Other people can step in and be useful, there's no question, and many have benefited that way. But start always with yourself, the thinking at least, because that shouldn't cost much to anyone. So the young people, use your time well, and use whatever investments that have been made in you or you have made in yourself to grow that, and also find ways of working together. One may not be enough, but two or three or more working together will always deliver something that is going to last, and much bigger than what any one person can deliver to you. So in Rwanda, we had an opportunity when we were young ourselves. Some of it was to begin with, very risky. So it was extremely risky, but it was tried. And those who survived, who are still living, and what they delivered and still delivering has enabled many others to I should say the whole country, to make a big, big difference for themselves and for the country. So the responsibility doesn't stop anywhere. It keeps coming from one generation to another and to another and to another. So play your part within your generation. All right?
Thank you, sir. We'll take the next question from Lionel.
Thank you, Mr. President, for this opportunity. My name is Lionel Nditebriye. I'm a writer for the Pan-African Review. My question is about Africa's security, to be precise. We live in a world where a powerful actor can come and attack you without having so much as a good justification. So at the recent ISCA high-level discussions, the head of the RDF research and development said that Africa cannot remain a mere consumer of technology. And they were talking about autonomous systems, new weapons emerging. And you've talked often about self-reliance. And so I was wondering, in a sector like defense, how can we translate self-reliance into real capabilities, defense capabilities, and what can Rwanda contribute to that quest? Thank you.
Well, we are trying. I mean, the first thing is, I'm glad you had that discussion. The very fact that somebody put it forward like that within that context already shows from the thinking, practical things happen. In fact, it's not just self-reliance is in many aspects. It's not just in technology and different systems as you mentioned. Self-reliance goes into other areas, even of governance. As you have seen in Rwanda, there are so many things we've done in areas of governance and service and delivery. And some people will wonder whether we don't even have more resources than we are known for. It's like, how does a poor country get to be here on this, on that, and so on? That is delivered actually by that mindset of self-reliance. So the self-reliance aspect of it makes, the aspect makes people, there are things I said when I was answering one of the questions. I said, do whatever you can within your means. There are people who have the means and they can't deliver on something when they have the means. In fact, some people have a lot in terms of means and they don't deliver much. So in that discussion, what was being said can be applied in defense. Another simple example, we are used to having, you have heard of peacekeepers across the world, financed by the UN, by big powers and so on and so forth. And some security products that have to do a lot with peace cannot be delivered because people will tell you there is no money to finance it. So we've tried to move around that and say, no, but there are some things that can be delivered even without much money by the UN or by the rich people. People know about Mozambique, or they think about Central African Republic. But I can remind you that, for example, you must have heard of a case in Sudan. Remember the conflict in Darfur. That was way back, even before we started having some of the things we have. Our forces went and served in Darfur, first under the African Union and then a hybrid African Union, UN. And do you know that for the first months, I think like 9 months, our forces went there and served without being paid anything. We were paying them from here. We were giving them their salaries, putting their salaries on their account here. And they were there, and whatever they were using there, we were giving them. That was, and what was delivered in that situation was better or more than we have seen delivered by so much money poured into a situation when you were there in Darfur. So it's again a question of how do you want to approach a problem. Having independence to do, it doesn't matter the size. Rwanda is not by any standard a big country. We are one of the smallest countries, I think, in the world. But does that stop us looking around for what we can do and within our means and do it? Or deliver whatever we can somewhere else, first looking at what is within our means? So it's that sort of approach that must have built on or during that discussion that happened recently. There is and by the way, looking at what makes you independent does not remove the fact of the need to work together. Work together, but start from a point where you people coming together, each one of you must be saying, suppose the worst comes to the worst and I'm on my own. How do I survive? How do I operate? How do I deliver to an extent whatever I need to deliver?
Thank you, Excellency. In the interest of time, may we take just one last question?
I don't know how many, can see many faces here, people. Maybe we try and shorten questions, and I also try my best to shorten my answers, and we take more people.
Thank you, sir. We'll take 2 to 3 more questions. We'll start with you're the center.
You've taught me to say so many things. I never used to speak like this, but you made me talk and talk and talk and talk and
Muraho.
Yes, Baroness.
Joel Talargi here from Ethiopia. I'm a tech content creator as well as software developer. So I'm here for the forum. Thank you for this chance, Your Excellency. So I have a very critical and short question for you regarding technology and AI for Africa. So to make it short, AI systems are learning what Africa is from data. So systems learn from data, and that data is wrote about us that we didn't write. So Africans didn't write those data that AI is learning. And we have the youngest population on Earth, which is a very big thing, and the thinnest digital footprint of our own making. So my question is, what will African governments do differently this time? Not to consume AI, but to make sure that Africans creating content, data, and stories today are the ones training how models that will define us tomorrow. Yeah. Because every decision being made around the world is being influenced by AI. And AI is good if the data that it's trained on is good. If it's bad, it's going to be biased. And also AI is going to take jobs, and AI is going to affect the education, entrepreneurship, and every sector.
Right. Well, so that's a good question. But the problem doesn't start with the AI. It's not, AI is something recent, right? Meaning for collecting data and not doing much with it, and collecting it in Africa, is something that precedes the era of AI. So, but it goes back to that question, where Africa, whether it is AI or anything else that will come in the future, and we shouldn't be taking all this long to be part of the conversation, the global conversation. How can we keep referring ourselves to, I mean, as people who are left behind, who AI comes, is the data, it is collected from us, it is going to affect us because those who are developing systems are using yes, that is a problem that has been there for, let me say, the last 100 years. We really need to change that conversation and just like in your own way, I mean, your talent, your profession, you're in, and so on. Many Africans have that knowledge. They have, in fact, sometimes they are the ones working for those institutions or those companies that develop AI systems. You find they're Africans. So we need to resolve a bigger problem on our continent where, yes, we need to be at the same level with the rest across the world, because we can. Why is it just a given that Africa must lag behind everybody? No. So, but what you are saying is true. But it doesn't, it shouldn't be that way. It's something we need to change. We're already too late in doing that. Too late. We should have done it 20 years ago, 30 years ago, even on other things and in other areas. So the conversation around this African governance and the mindset and so on and so forth should be making a dent, at least in, shaking Africa into this position where we can't keep being onlookers and just having things about ourselves being taken care of by others. I mean, just imagine it for a moment, what that means. Why? Why should it be like this? But it's not just asking questions, you should also find answers. And the answers are in this room. They are in another room next, and another room on our continent. Yes, let's make the investments that are needed. We've already made the investment, let's say, in our young people and others grown who have developed certain capabilities. They are there. So why don't we bring our heads together and do it without waste of time?
Thank you, sir. We'll take the next question from Joseph.
Murakoze nyakubahwa Perezida, nitwa Joseph Hakuzweumuremyi, naturutse ku kinyamakuru Umuryango TV. Ndagira ngo mbabaze ku kibazo kijyanye n'icuruzwa ry'abantu.
Short question. Tugire short duhine.
Yego cyane. Ndagira ngo mbabaze ku kibazo cy'icuruzwa ry'abantu ahanini kibasiye urubyiruko, ariko nanababwira ko kuva tariki 15 z'ukwa gatanu 2026 hari abanyarwanda bafungiye muri Madagascar. Bageze muri 5 b'urubyiruko bagiye gucuruzwayo, nyuma babafunga bashinja icyaha bakorewe ahubwo. Imiryango yabo rero irabasaba ubufasha, ariko hano hari n'urubyiruko rwaturutse hirya no hino muri Afurika, kandi n'icyo kibazo n'abanyarwanda bafunganyemo n'abandi bageze muri 21 bava mu bindi bihugu byo muri Afurika. Nagira ngo mugire message mutanga muri rusange.
Icuruzwa ry'abantu ni ikibazo kinini cyane kitari mu Rwanda gusa, kiri ku isi hose, cyane cyane yenewe abanyafurika. Baravuga bari Madagascar, hari abo tubona bari mu Bushinwa, hari abo tubona bava mu Buhinde, hari abo twumva bafatiwe mu bihugu byo mu Gulf region, hari abantu birirwa bafatwa, polisi n'izindi inzego in fact zirirwa ku rugamba ziba zifata baravuga abatwawe Madagascar cyangwa bariyo n'iki. Hari abo fatirwa ku mipaka hano bafite abantu babatwaye, babambutse imipaka, babategereje hakurya, kumva ngo bamutwaye ahandi. Hashira igihe tukazabona batubwira ko hari abantu b'abanyarwanda. Iyo kibazo kirakurikiranwa, tugerageza inzego zibishinzwe z'umutekano zigerageza gukorana n'izindi nzego z'ibihugu bindi kugira ngo icyo kibazo gikemuke. Nta kindi numva ntakivugaho, usibye ko abo babonetse bakeneye ubufashwa bakwiriye gufashwa. Ubwo ngira ngo inzego ziri hano zibishinzwe ari na Minisiteri y'Ububanyi n'Amahanga bakorana n'izindi nzego bakabikurikirana icyo cya Madagascar, bakamenya ko giteye kigashakirwa umuti.
Thank you, sir. We'll take the next question from Sam.
Murakoze nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika, nitwa Sam Karenzi, ndi umunyamakuru ubusanzwe wibanda ku makuru y'imikino. Nyakubahwa Perezida, u Rwanda rumaze igihe rushyira ingufu mu kubaka ibikorwa remezo bya siporo, cyane cyane umupira w'amaguru. Mu minsi mike ishize amakipe yacu yaba y'igihugu ndetse n'amaklub amaze iminsi yitwara neza. Uko mubibona football final yabiri mu murongo muyifuzamo, nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika?
Niyo ko ntemeranya nawe, kwitwara neza bikiri hasi.
Nabazaga nti murabona hakorwa iki noneho kugira ngo gume mu murongo mwiza cyangwa ikomerezeho?
Niwe nabaza, naho ntabwo nagerageje ibyo nshoboye, ndafasha, ndasunika, ndagira ntariko ntabwo mbizi, ntabwo nzi icyo nafasha kindi kirenze, ariko nukomeza tukagerageza. Ariko ikibazo nitwe kirimo nk'abanyarwanda n'abakinnyi n'abandi, ikibazo kiri muri twe, tukivanyemo byatera imbere. Baribuka mu minsi yashize ibyo najyaga mbabwira hano, ukabona abantu barakina imipira, biba n'ahandi, ariko njye simvuga iby'ahandi, ndavuga hano yewe. Abantu ugasanga n'imyifatire gusa n'imico. Hanyuma ngo baragiye babwira abantu ko abateze b'umupira bagomba kugura imisatsi bakishyira ku mutwe cyangwa bagafata iyo ku mutwe yabo bakayiziringa ukuntu bashatse, ibyo bikaba gukina umupira, cyangwa bikavaho bikajya mu kuraguza, bikajya mu birozi, bikajya noneho byangiza bikaba no kwiba na mikoro yarakwiye kuba arimo, ugasanga ubwo se wenda n'ahandi birahaba kandi birahaba, ariko genda avuga ibitureba. Ntabwo abantu bashaka kugera kure, ugira uko wifata, ugira uko witwara, ugira uko aho uhanga amaso ukaba ariho ushyira ingufu, ariko ibintu biri aho ntabwo niho mbura uko nafashe. Narafashije naho nashakishaga n'amafaranga, nkafata n'umwenda nkabaha, kubera ko bije itabonetse ihagije, ariko ukabona hari ibintu bitaza mu bantu, bakajya no mu matiku, bakajya mu bintu byo kwangana, bakajya mu ntambara no hagati y'itimu ubwayo muri imwe, cyangwa hagati y'itimu imwe n'iyindi, ugasanga niho ibintu bya wagabanya ibyo byose navugaga, bimwe bifite intuzo, tukareba neza, ariko tugatangira no hasi, abana bato bakarerwa ku buryo bazamuka umuco w'igihe cyashize cya kera, asangaga umuntu umukinnyi bamuvuga gusa kubera ko izina ryavuzwe muri 76 rigahora ari iryo, akarinda no nta wundi bazamuye inyuma ye. Bikwiye guhera hasi, abana ariko noneho the culture, the environment, kaba ibintu bifite, ndetse bakava no muri ibi, ubwo nabo bashobora kujya gukina umupira babanza bakajya mu biyobyabwenge cyangwa mu biki, byose ni ibintu abantu bakwiriye ibyo nimushaka ko dukorana nanjye nkagira uruhare nkabafashamo, muzampamagare nzabikora, ariko noti ibi bintu by'akajagari biri mu marozi, biri mu nzanguro, biri mu myitwarire, ntabwo ibyo nabijyamo. Nahagaritse no kujya, ntabwo nzajya nta mafaranga ngo ishyire mu bintu bijyamo aho, sibyo?
Excellency, nari mbigendeye ko ikipe y'igihugu y'u Rwanda iherutse kwitwara neza muri mikino ya FIFA series yari yabereye inaha. Rayon Sport iherutse gutwara igikombe cya Sekafa, nacyo cyabereye aha. Numvaga bitanga icyizere, kandi nari nabonye mwatangiye no kugaruka kuri stade.
Ndagaruka ariko nkataha. Nk'ubwo uravuga ibyo ngibyo iby'amakipe tuvuga, ariko ikipe y'igihugu se bivugaho iki? Ntabwo bikwiye guhera kurangirira aha. Ndavuga umupira w'ayo makipe uzamuka neza, ariko ukagera no ku gihugu, n'igihugu kikagaragaraho cyifata neza. Impamvu byo bitaba ni ukubereye.
Haracyarimo byinshi byo gukosora.
Harimo byinshi tugomba tubikosore, two kubinyura iruhande, tubikosora uko bikwiye. Naho yewe ubufasha bwanjye no gukunda umupira rwose, ibyo birahari, biri guaranteed, ariko ariko mbona bindenze nkisubira inyuma nkajya kwikorera ibindi.
Akoze nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika, nari mfite ikindi kibazo. Abantu bari muri media ndetse n'aba content creators dukomeje kugorwa n'ikibazo cy'imbuga nkoranyambaga zitari monetized. Ubushize mwari mwagitanzeho umurongo nyakubahwa Perezida.
Ikibazo sinzi aho cyahereye, yuko twagishinza na Minisita bijyanye n'ibintu bya ICT byahereye. Hari icyo bakoze, hari wazi niba hari progress arubizi okay ariko tuzongere tugerageze dukurikirane turebe we take note of that ariko ndibuka ko mwakivuze twanakivuzeho ndetse abantu basezeranye ko bazakoresha inzego zibishinzwe hakagira igikorwa ariko ubu niba nta cyabaye tuzabikurikirana turebe.
Thank you, sir.
There's somebody who kept, yes, putting up RY'IGITANGAZAMAKURU, where somebody else who, yes.
Hello, Mr. President. Thank you so much for letting us to be here as content creator. My name is Abdel Basit. I'm from Morocco, and I'm so happy to be here. The question that I want to ask you, and it comes from my followers from Morocco and from some other countries, that said, what the challenges that Rwanda get to be clean as that match, because I really surprising for that the things that I see, and you are doing great job, and I hope the best for Rwanda, and I will visit again, inshallah.
Yeah, most welcome. But it's a choice again, as you said. We try. I mean, this has been, and it's not only in Kigali, by the way. Even efforts in rural areas are being made to try and clean environment. These are some of the things I said, and I kept asking, in our own discussions, knowing. All of you here, or people in Rwanda, they have homes they come from, the homesteads and so on. And I used to give an example for a homestead to look or to be kept clean. Does it require foreign aid? Do you need foreign aid to clean yourself or to clean your home or environment? So we raised it to the level, we said, yeah, even our country, much as we are not a wealthy country, if we raise it from that concept of a home to a country, people taking care of the environment, we ask ourselves, does the country need foreign aid to keep itself clean? We said, no, we can actually clean it up ourselves, irrespective of our economic status. And that's how it started. Yes, in the first year, it was a bit difficult, people just saying, no, why do they tell me to do this? We kept going. And I made sure I would show up myself to do some cleaning. And maybe some people said, well, but if the president can go there, why not me? So they started coming. And then later on, they saw the benefits. Because if the environment is clean, it benefits those who live in that environment. So one thing led to another, and so on and so forth. So it's just because we decided to do it, and anybody can decide to do it, anybody can achieve it. And so it's one of the things. And look, as a country, as a small country like Rwanda, again, it's our discussion. We keep having it as a discussion among ourselves. We have a bigger task for people to notice and be associated with us. You see what I mean? So we try to do something that will be visible, and by that we shall be visible as well. There are people who don't have to go through that to be visible. because of what they have, because of their size, because of the... So, but it's like, even let's say in the concept of fighting corruption, if Rwanda, a small country like ours, is known for corruption, who will come to you? They even ignore you. They not notice this small country that is corrupt. They look the other way and go somewhere else. You don't represent anything to them. So we make sure that, oh, let's avoid this thing that will take attention away from us because of how negative it is. Yes, so we cannot afford to be known for corruption because it will destroy us. Yes, we are coming from a very small place already, and then you do that bad thing, you disappear. For me, I'm not one of those who want to disappear. No, I want to be here and seen and for what I am. So that's just giving you a little bit of history and where it comes from. Yeah.
Thank you, Excellency.
Maybe somebody else there.
There's a lady here.
One or two.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Amazina ni Njoki, ndi Munyakenya, but I live in Rwanda. And I've been here for 4 years, and one of the main questions I get as a Kenyan living in Rwanda from my fellow Kenyans, Gen Zs, is how does Rwanda actually do it? How do they are able to have governance that actually works for its people? So as we are headed into elections, what would be the advice that you would give to Gen Zs on how to
stability that we want? Is it going to improve the politics to deliver that? Is it going to contribute in any way to the progress the country should be made? So it's a bit tricky, it's broad, it's sometimes amorphous, it has no shape, it has no, but it's around those elements that people have to think along. Yeah. And for the interview and so on, the discussion, I think my people can see some sitting behind you, you get close to them and you can make an arrangement. I'll be available.
Thank you, Excellency.
Then the other two, maybe quickly.
The lady right there. Yes.
Your Excellency, thank you for giving us this opportunity. My name is Roxane Lidvin. I am content creator and I come from Côte d'Ivoire. My question is, Mr. President, how do you plan to ensure that the presence of young people in spaces like this go beyond being symbolic and that they can actually have a say in the decision?
Sorry?
Yeah?
There are things I missed in what you are saying. Can you repeat the question?
Okay, I can repeat. Yeah. Mr. President, how do you plan to ensure that the presence of young people in spaces like this goes beyond being symbolic and that they can actually have a say in the decision shaping Africa's future?
Well, it's really not, at least I will say, yes, I have a role to play, but it's not, I'm not the only one to shape that. By this I mean even the young people, by the way. You don't have to be told what you will do to shape your future. Sometimes you initiate it, you think about it, you raise the voice, you talk about it. So it's not the president, it's not the minister, and here it's not somebody else to make sure. All of us make a contribution. We bear in mind all that for all our actions. We are saying, yes, how about the future? How about the young people? What role will they play? How can they be supported to do that? But even if you did it the best way, without the young people themselves showing up and, trying it either with this support or not, then nothing much happens. I'm therefore trying to flip the whole argument that the young people have actually a much bigger role to ensure that is the case. Yes, you ensure by the way you behave, the way you work together, the way you develop, but also by way of raising this issue with anywhere where you can raise it so that you are heard and people hear you and factor this in what they intend to do or what they are planning to do. Yeah.
Thank you, Excellency.
Yeah, somebody who was sitting next to her.
Jadot?
Quickly, we can take it. Then there was one person there. I saw the arm there. One arm.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Jean de Dieu Bagirisha. I work for BNB FM. Mr. President, for the last 32 years after liberation, the education policy for all is affording the country young people who are well educated. But the projects for the youth are difficult to coordinate with the banking sector. The youth are coming on the labor market, hoping to be employed by the government, but government cannot employ everyone. How can we create projects for the youth who are well educated and who leave schools without any investment? All those have been provided for. We discuss about this issue all this time, and where there are issues, it's
bw'ibintu bidahagije. Abantu basubira inyuma rero bagashaka uko ese biturukaye kuki haba hari abantu bangana gutya batabona ubufasha kandi hari uburyo bukwiye kuba bafashwa tugashaka iyo mpamvu tukayikemura naho ubundi nibwira ko byashyizweho uburyo bwashyizweho hari bamwe actually babibonyemo inkunga wenda kumva ko hari igitekerezo cyiza umuntu yagize cy'imikorere ariko akabura ubufasha kiramutse gihari cyiza nyine ni ikibazo abantu mujye mwegera inzego zibishinzwe zimwe bitagombye kunyura ahandi kure mu biganire ndetse bishobora no kuzamuka bikagera hejuru niba hari kesi runaka abantu baba bazi yari ikenewe gufashwa yashobora gufashwa ariko ntifashwe.
Thank you, Excellency. We'll take the last
Maybe the last one, dear.
Yes, sir. Darina.
Your Excellency, my name is Kaimba Darina, and I am a Rwandan content creator. And first and foremost, I would like, this is more of an appreciation, and as a Rwandan content creator, of course. So I truly appreciate your leadership and the transformation Rwanda continues to experience. And as a young creative, we are inspired by the direction our country is taking, and we are grateful for the opportunities to contribute and tell our stories and be part of Rwanda's future. And I've also created actually a short film about you, and inshallah, you will actually get to witness it. So that was it.
I hope I want to be able to see it.
Yes, inshallah.
Okay.
Thank you, Excellency.
Good. So keep doing the best you can, and let's keep helping each other. And what the government can do, will do. What you can do for yourselves, and you should do. You don't go absent when you could do a lot for yourself. And if we can be of any support, I think it's a question of structuring it and organization, and I think we can help more people than are being helped, maybe, if we approach it the right way. So, asante sana.
Thank you, Excellency. Wish you a good evening.
Ikiganiro rero cyahuzaga nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika Paul Kagame n'abanyamakuru.
Ibihe byiza kuri mwese abakurikiye televiziyo y'u Rwanda, ni umwanya w'amakuru agiye kwibanda ku ngingo z'ingenzi zikurikira. Abakurikiranira hafi imibanire y'abantu